and how to lose and how to choose.
Well, hello everybody. This is Linda Carbonell from Walking Through Life TV show again. Today we're going to be doing a part 2 to the show that we've been doing, dealing with voices. So again, I'd like to introduce you to Gloria Vanberg.
Yep.
I said it right again.
You did. You're good. You're awesome.
I can be, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Okay.
When we left off from the other show, we were talking about us going to the closet and seeing the skeleton and actually being able to talk about it.
Yeah.
So we want to go and talk about that a little bit, where we can then maybe talk about becoming good listeners and good advocators for
Yep.
ourselves and helping other people.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just think what I see at Alyssum is the power of that. And we're not professionals, we're peers. Mm-hmm. We're people who have got the experience, we have the lived experience. And so then what I say to myself is, why can't everybody do this? Why can't somebody listen, you know? And I think it really comes down to education, knowing your own comfort, being able to speak to your own needs. Mm-hmm. You know, the staff there are very trained to always take care of themselves, take care of their own needs. That's part of the conversations that we have, so that if something comes up and it's not being understood correctly, or it's triggering for you as a person trying to support somebody, to be honest about that, to be able to say, you know what, this is making me really scared, or this is freaking me out, or I don't really know what to do. I don't know what to do about this.
Right, and you're saying to say that directly to the person.
Say it directly, because what it does is it creates that connection. Mm-hmm. You know, we are all, as human beings, we don't want to just blow off in somebody's face, you know, but we do tend to go back to that place of judgment, or to retreat to a you know, stigma, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Because we're uncomfortable and we don't know what to do, and we feel that we need to fix somebody.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's the secret. We all want to be fixers, or we all think we can fix, and
yeah,
when really we
can't.
That's not what we want. We relate.
No. So we want to learn to listen.
But how do you listen to somebody when you don't have a connection to their what they've gone through?
I think being curious. You know, I think that's the biggest tool, is sitting there, being honest with yourself and being curious. Mm-hmm. Asking the person, what do you need? Do you need me to touch you? Do you need me to hold you? Are you scared? What does this feel like for you? Mm-hmm. You know, sort of try to be curious, try to engage them and ask them, because no matter, unless they're really so far out to lunch that they're just on a completely other planet, mm-hmm. They're gonna be able to tell you what they need, hopefully. Yeah. Or if they can't speak in the moment, just to be still with that moment and wait till they come through whatever it is they're coming through, and then ask them, do you need to talk about this? Do you need a cup of tea? Would you like me to go in the other room? Do you want to be alone? Some people like to be touched, some people like to be held. Some people really need to share what it is they're remembering, or what their voices are telling them. Mm-hmm. And as trauma survivors, we have a huge radar system for bullshit. I'm sorry for the word, but we have a huge radar system in place where we can really detect if somebody's lying and being false. Mm-hmm. And the minute somebody lies or is false, that's it. It's a disconnect. You immediately put them in that category of like, okay, this person doesn't know what they're doing, and I'm not talking to this person anymore, and they're no help to me, and see you later, bye. Yeah. And it is a really, really hard thing, I think, as human beings on this planet, to be vulnerable, to listen to hard stuff, to voice your own discomfort and your own need. I mean, I have staff people that will sometimes say to somebody, you know, this is getting to be too much for me. I'm going to call in another person. And can you wait? Can we just talk about this, and can I get some help here because I'm struggling with this,
Right.
you know? Or they may say, I really don't know what to do with this. Do you have an idea? Do you have an idea of what you need? And a lot of time it's a simple answer. I need a cup of tea. Can you just hold my hand?
Yeah.
I'm really scared. I'm really, really scared. And that's it. It's so simple.
It is, and absolutely about making it that simple. But there's something about in us too that we need to feel like we can connect with that person. And I think by us being honest and saying, okay, I can probably connect to you, or being honest saying, there's something about you I just can't.
Right.
You know, I mean, I know, having PTSD too, there's certain types of people that I can't connect to.
Yeah.
You know, so by
Absolutely.
letting them know that right away,
Yeah.
you know. But I can still be
Absolutely.
friends with you, but I just can't
Yeah.
trust you, and I can't talk to you,
Yeah.
knowing that.
And talking about that lack of trust.
Exactly.
You know, like, what does that feel like for you? What does that lack of trust feel like for you? And what is it about me that might make it lack? Is there something I can change or do different?
Yeah.
Or if not, that's fine. I'm okay with that. You know, it's when our ego gets busy and we're like, well, I'm trustable. I know I'm trustable.
Yeah.
And I know how to fix you.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and that's when we get into the trouble that we
Right.
get into.
It's more like understanding that I think for me, because understanding, okay, this is uncomfortable for them because either they're thinking about something traumatic that I brought up in them,
Yeah.
or it's just the opposite. Something they're saying is irritating them.
Yeah.
You don't know.
You don't
But if
know.
they're willing to open up, then that's a gift.
Yeah.
That's a gift that you're receiving from them, is that they
Yeah.
want
Yeah.
to bring it to you.
Yeah.
You're the angel.
Yeah.
You're the person that can do that.
Yeah.
You can't do it for everybody, but there's people that you can.
Yeah, you know, and we have, I think we have 10 staff at Alyssum. Not all of them connect with all of the guests.
Right.
You know, we've had guests say, you know, I like everybody but her.
Yeah.
I don't, when she's on shift, I just go to my room and listen to my Walkman. And at the beginning, it was hard, you know, because the staff person that they didn't like was like, whoa, well, why don't they like me? And I know
Yeah,
my, you know,
yeah, yeah.
and you got to get over that
Yeah.
because you're in a service position and you are hopefully in a healthier place
Yeah.
than the person that you're talking to, and you got to get over that and let it go,
Yeah.
and it's okay.
It's
No.
all right. Because there's somebody else that you know. I mean, if you go in and looking at it, okay, well, if I don't connect and this isn't working with me, there is somebody that they can connect with.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
just need to find that person.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they will know when they find them.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
And, you know, a lot of this stuff with the voices, I mean, we link it with PTS, post-traumatic stress. We link it with disassociation. You can't really dialogue or talk with somebody when they're disassociated because they're in their own space. You know, sometimes their eyes are rolled back or they're just, you can feel it. They're just really not there.
Can we talk about that a little bit, disassociation? A lot of people don't understand what that is.
Okay.
Disassociation, I think the way that I describe it is that it's not that you're not really not there, but you're in the moment of,
A different world.
exactly.
You're in a really different space.
Because you're visiting somewhere.
Yeah, you're visiting somewhere in your mind. You're reliving a movie in your mind.
Yeah.
And you can't connect with what's outside on the physical plane.
Well, I had a visual thing with mine because everybody knew I was dissociating because I just stare right out.
Yeah.
And
some-
nobody could talk to me. It was
Right.
like talking
Right.
to a wall.
Right.
Yeah.
And one of the things that helps with that is when the person comes back from
Mm-hmm.
that disassociated place, is to say, I saw this happen.
Yeah.
What do you need next time?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if you're going to go into that place, do you need me to touch you? Sometimes people say, well, I need help coming back. What does that mean? What does that mean to you? You know, a lot of times, you know, we'll ask if we can touch, and we'll touch their knee and say, you're here, remember you're here in your body, you're safe, you're here, can you see the carpet?
Yeah.
Can you see the carpet? Can you see me? Can you hear my voice? And sooner or later, people will start nodding, and you know, they come back from whatever that place is. And then we follow up with like, well, do you want to talk about where you were?
Right.
Do you want to share that? And I can't overemphasize enough when somebody's remembering their trauma or hearing their voices that when they first start speaking about it, it's such a vulnerable feeling because they
Absolutely.
haven't disclosed this information to anybody.
Anybody.
They're unsure if they're crazy a lot of the times. They're unsure if they're making it up. And when in a family structure, very often, you know, the person will say, oh, that didn't happen. You know, oh, no, that didn't happen. You know, and that's like the worst thing.
Right. It is.
Because that's what's happened, you know.
Yep.
And I think that it's really, for me, it's really important to say that when somebody is experiencing their voices, when they're experiencing their stories, whatever it is they're experiencing is real for them. Even if nobody else saw it in the family, even if it actually didn't physically really happen, it doesn't matter. They are experiencing it. It's valid for them, and their healing hinges on being validated and being accepted for their truth. And then they can let it go. They don't have to stay in that place. They can move through it and they can let it go. But if it's shut down, it never goes.
That's right. Yeah.
You know, and the voice is a part of your mind, a part of your consciousness that needs to be heard. It needs to be heard. It's part of the healing process. And if it doesn't get heard, it just builds and builds and builds. And no amounts of meds is going to make it go away.
And that's something, too, I wanted to connect on with this discussion, too, is medication, not medication, in the success in medication or non-medication.
Yeah.
And I think we were talking a lot about it's okay if that's what you want, but if there's somebody gives you, say, okay, you have to take this, or you have to take this the rest of your life, this is what you're going to be on, or whatever, I think talking about that, because that was told to me for so many years, and luckily I was able to find a psychiatrist that didn't believe that way.
Yeah, yeah.
If you don't think you need this, don't take it. That's absolutely what we should be hearing.
Yeah.
Is if you don't feel you need that,
Yeah.
you don't have to take it.
Yeah. Well, and maybe there's a reason why you do have to take it, but you are the one that needs to come to that place
Right.
of that deciding. You know,
Yeah.
like I made it through what I've come through without ever being put on meds. You know, and I had the assumption that if I can do it, everybody can do it. Well,
Right,
you know,
yeah,
I
it's not
learned
true.
early on
Yeah.
in my job this is just not the case. Some people
Yeah.
need some help.
Yeah.
Some people want help. And I think it's really important not to judge that.
No.
I think what's important is people being aware of what they're doing, being given choice,
Exactly,
being given
yep.
information, being given discussion. You know, when we first opened our program, we call ourselves an alternative program because it is very different. People said, well, I'm coming off my meds, so I'm going to stop them 3 days before I get there, and then I'm going to come to you. And I'm like, no, you know. Or they'd say, well, this is the place to come off my meds. And I'm like, no, you know. You come off meds with intelligence, knowing that you have a good support system, knowing that there's people who are going to red flag you if you start to slide, knowing that you have a good doctor who will help you. You know, it's not something to be done lightly. It's
Right.
something that you do carefully with consideration and with the right kind of support. If your doctor won't support you, find another doctor. you
That's
know?
right.
But so I don't think of meds as good or bad. I think that they're things that help us get through things.
Right.
I think having the assumption that you have to go on them and you always have to take them is not a very healthy one.
No.
Some people do need to take them for life. And those people usually know or
Yeah.
learn
Yeah,
that this
that they
is
need
so.
Yeah.
You know, but doing it thoughtfully. You know, doing it, knowing what you're doing.
That's right. I think we're going to talk a little about the different types of voices going towards, like, from schizophrenia and the psychosis.
Yeah.
So,
So my personal experience, you know, I had the trauma-based voices early on with the multiple personalities because I was used in child pornography. And I'd pretty much done a lot of my recovery work by the time I was in my early 40s, I'm going to guess. Well, 38, 40, something around there. I'd integrated most of the parts. I did it without medication. I used energy work. You told me
Yeah.
you have a Reiki practitioner
Yeah.
who comes in. I used a combination of a peer-based therapy, energy healers, meditation, whatever. I worked and I worked. And I pretty much, I thought, gotten it, you know, to a pretty good place. And then when I was, I don't know, maybe 44, the psychosis hit me. And that's all I can describe. It was like the door slammed open on April 24th, 2004. And the way I described it to people was I felt like I'd been thrown out of an airplane naked at night into a battlefield. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know there was a war going on. And it was very, very abrupt. It was very intense. Mm-hmm. It took me several years to get through the experience. I mean, I had the aliens, I had angels, I had beings, I had healings, I mean, a lot of stuff went on. My daughter, who was, I think, 12 or 13, stayed with me through part of it, and I really think that her presence probably contributed a lot to my not permanently staying out there. Mm-hmm. So during the process, so my daughter, you know, like, this is important. My daughter was with me for some of the really scary stuff. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was very, very scary. If I hadn't had that experience with my childhood, I probably wouldn't have, my mind would have just collapsed under the fear. And my daughter would just sit there, you know, and I'd be like, one minute I'd be on the floor ripping my hair out, just like in like huge pain, and the next minute I'd be in euphoria and seeing beings, and my dogs would be barking at things. I mean, it was a pretty crazy time. Mm-hmm. My daughter at 12 would be sitting there two-handed doing a puzzle going, "It's going to be okay, Mom. It's going to be okay. Don't worry about it. It's going to be okay." Mm. And it was just that presence there, you know, she didn't freak out. Yeah. You know, she just was like, "It's going to be okay. It's just going to be okay." And my husband took her away. I had restraining orders, lost custody, didn't see them for several, my sons either, I didn't see them for several years, and I had to, long process. Mm. And I came out of it, after I really hit bottom. I realized I was all alone. I had nobody, I had nothing, there was no point to my life. I didn't want to kill myself, because I believe in reincarnation, and I was pretty sure I'd come back and it would be worse. And I just surrendered everything. And from that point, I started coming back. And all I can tell you, Linda, it was a profound experience. I came back a very, very changed person. Mm-hmm. I really look at life very differently now. I'm not attached to things the way I was before. So I could say it was a spiritual shift. Yep. That came at a very high price. Mm-hmm. It took a long time to rebuild my family. Mm-hmm. But we're all good now. You know, I have good relationships with my kids. And I had this sort of attitude after that of, well, if I can do it, anybody can do it. And I really have learned that that's not always the case. Right. You know, that some people do need help with meds. Some people do get involuntary hospitalization. And my heart goes out to them. I do know that the process of coming back was extremely difficult. Took a lot of will. I had to relearn thinking, because I stopped thinking after a while. I just stopped trusting all thoughts. I had a monk who helped me, and who's my friend now. So when we talk about how do we work with people who are experiencing, however they want to call it, a spiritual shift, bipolar, schizophrenia, you know, all the labels that go with it. What I can say is, when I was really out there, nobody was going to tell me different. Yeah. Nobody was going to tell me. Yeah. Nobody was going to tell me that it wasn't okay. Nobody was. I was sure that I was doing the right thing. Mm-hmm. I was sure, positive. Even when my kids were taken away, I was still sure that I was doing the right thing. And it wasn't until I hit that bottom when I recognized that, well, maybe this isn't the right thing. And if I don't know the right thing and my brain isn't giving me the right thing, how do I function here? Mm-hmm. You know? So when we give support to somebody who's experiencing that, like at Alyssum, we do talk about the different states of energy that people go through when they're in psychosis. It's definitely a different plane of energy. Yeah. It's definitely disconnected from this plane of reality. Right. The third eye in our chakra system definitely opens up You can see auras. You can hear people's thoughts. And you have to learn to shut that down. You can't just go walking around picking up people's thoughts and energies all the time.
Absolutely, yeah.
So there's a process. There's a learning process for the person. But for other people, there needs to be a place where the support system, the support person is taking care of themselves and is okay with knowing that that person is on some kind of journey, and hopefully will come back from it. Sometimes not. Sometimes it does wind up, with involuntary hospitalization and medications. And sometimes after a period of medications, they start to taper off and they do come back. We've
Right.
had people at Alyssum who have come back. So the biggest thing that we do at Alyssum with people who are experiencing psychosis, let's say we have somebody who's seeing blue spiders and they're crawling on their skin and they're crawling on the floor. We validate that. We say, okay, you're seeing blue spiders, you're feeling blue spiders. I don't see them unless you see them. Don't tell them
Right.
you're seeing them.
Don't say, yeah. I
Don't
learned that.
don't lie,
Yeah,
because
don't
they
tell
know
them
you're
that.
lying. What do you need? Do you need to see? Do you need to get rid of them? What do you know inside you about getting rid of them? Do you want to get rid of them? Again, it's that curiosity thing.
Yeah.
Of like, how are you going to live with this?
Yep.
How are you going to deal with it? So again, it's that validation, that non-judgment, that curiosity, and that taking care of yourself. That piece of like, okay, this is too much right now.
Right.
And I'm just telling you, your behavior is really off the frickin' wall, and I can't handle it.
Right.
So this is what I need. And if you can't do it, well, then we can't live together anymore. Or then I have to call the police. Or then I'm going to move next door and you're going to be on your own.
Yeah.
Because inside of us, there is that place of truth where we will, in that state of psychosis, we will survive if we're meant to survive. And we will take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
And we will say, oh, if she leaves, I'm not going to get any food. Okay, well, listen, I'll stop doing what I'm doing. Just bring the groceries home.
I know, really. Well, you know what? It's wanted to share this part too. Is I remember after my mother died, a year later. Of course, I was one that said, I'm okay. I got to hug her before she went through the funeral, went through everything, talked to my sister every day, and we cried, and I wrote poetry, and I thought I was doing just fine. The next thing I know, I couldn't remember my phone number. I couldn't remember my banking information. I couldn't remember how to use my remote. My friend told her that I was scared. See if she'd come over. She'd come over. She talked to me, but in psychosis, I'd always see her eyes go
Yeah.
like this big.
Yeah.
When she talked about Jesus Christ, it scared the crap out of me. It
Yeah.
scared me. I was peeing the couch. I was doing all this stuff, and I couldn't see there was anything wrong with that. She was over to my house more than she was at her house.
Yeah.
Finally, she got it, that I wasn't going to get better until something else happened.
Right.
She made the move of calling my sister and let my sister know exactly what happened. My sister got me on the phone. She goes, Linda, you need to do something. You're not doing well. Do I need to come up there? And I said, no. She goes, well, what are you going to do then? I said, I'm doing okay. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm okay,
Yeah.
So then she talked to my friend, and my friend said, well, I don't know what to do. And my sister said, get her to the hospital. And I says, no, she'll kill me if I took her to the hospital. She would. She goes, Kathy said to her, the best thing you could do is take her to the hospital.
Yeah.
And she did.
Yeah.
And that was the best thing she ever did. But I want to say how thankful that I am to her that she was willing to come and sit with me.
Yeah.
But I wish she would have made that decision sooner for herself,
Yeah.
because it was traumatic for her.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah. And we have people
And she
who-
just thought she was being, she thought, I can do this for her. I can do this for her.
Yeah.
I can do this for her. And you could see that it was
This
affecting
is
her.
this thing of going out there. I'll just call it going out there.
Yeah.
Is a long process.
Absolutely.
I'm guessing it can be a 4-year cycle. It can be it can be forever year cycle, but it can be a long process.
Well, for me, I was in the hospital for 8 weeks.
Yeah. So And it is about the person who's giving you support in that circumstance, setting some pretty firm limits.
Finally.
Because what are you going to do? Spend months and months and months, compromising yourself? We have people that call us at Alyssum who are the loved ones.
Yeah.
And they're like, what do I do? Can you take this person into your program? And I'm like, you know what? They're not connected enough to be here and for us to keep them safe. We can't have a dialogue with them. We can't keep them safe. We're on a main road.
Yeah.
We can't deal with it. We're not set up to deal with that. And sometimes they choose to stay home and keep going, but neighbors eventually complain because strange things
Right,
happen.
exactly, yeah.
People go running around naked or screaming in the night or whatever. And sometimes people come through, and sometimes they need that little bit of
Push.
that little push, that little bit of help, something to just bring them down a little bit. And I don't know, I feel fortunate that I didn't go in the mental health system. I mean, I had circumstances where I had some money, so that helped.
Yeah.
I own my own place. I didn't have to make payments on it, so that helped. But, it was a risk. It was a real big risk that I might not have come back from that. And then I would have wound up in the hospital.
Yeah, for me, hospitals were so scary for me because I remember being in a locked ward. I remember that ambulance with being tied down. It's
Yeah.
so scary. I just didn't want to go there.
Yeah.
Even though in the back of my mind at that time, I knew that probably would be the safest place. And I told my friend the story of being locked up and how scary that was for me.
Yeah.
So she was trying to help by saying, okay, you don't need to go. I can help you. I can do this.
Yeah.
I can do this.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
really, so thank God she did it anyway. Thank God that
Yeah.
I was able to do it too.
Yeah.
And I think that we've just opened up so much to the people out there and educate. This is just the first step, though.
Yeah.
We've got so much more to cover. And I think by you and I both sharing personal stuff,
Yeah.
that maybe that makes it a little more real
Yeah.
for people.
I think so. I think it's a very real experience.
Exactly.
And no matter who you are or where you are, what role you play in these experiences, it's an experience, and we all come through it, whether we suffer greater or lesser degrees or whatever. And
But your program is just so great, and I think we could all learn so much from it. I know we talked about different types of shows that we want to do. I'm really looking forward to maybe doing some role playing. And
yeah, it would be great to do some
Yeah.
role plays and to just come in and demonstrate some of the ways to talk
Right.
to people,
How
and
to
to be
talk
with
to
people
people.
when they're having these difficult,
Yeah.
altered states, so we call them.
right, because it's easier seeing people doing it and
Yep.
seeing how they react and how they talk.
Yeah.
I think that would be absolutely awesome.
That would be fun.
But this is only part 2, so we have to have, I don't know, we'll make it a series. We'll make it a mini-series.
Make it a mini-series.
How's that?
Yeah, and if people give you feedback, do they give you feedback?
Oh,
Do
yeah.
they email you and stuff? I mean, if they have questions and stuff, I think that would be awesome.
Good. Well, we can work on that too, because I did that with another guest with me, Roxanne. I put it out there that if you have any questions about
Yeah.
this, anything at all, we
Yeah.
won't use your name. Just give me the questions. And
Yeah, let's talk about it, because I think this is a big thing.
I think
it's a
so,
big
too.
thing. So many people suffer with hearing voices, and I think it's really big. And really trying to get a better understanding of it, and really I also think breaking it down into the trauma-based voices and the psychosis-type voices. Sometimes they overlap for people, but the person themselves usually will tell you, this is where I think it comes from.
Right.
This is my thing.
And we can empower each other with our voices, our stories, our ability to understand,
Yeah.
our ability to want to understand, our ability to know when the time is right, when the time is wrong.
Yeah.
And it's just so important. I just want to thank you so much for coming.
Oh,
for
this has
these,
been really fun. And
and I just want to, like I said, you're one of my favorite people because the training that I took with you is just like blew my mind, and it was like, oh, I'm back.
Slightly different worldview, right? It's a more empowered worldview.
Exactly, and how many people will get empowered by?
I hope a lot of people do.
Oh, you know what? I'm sure that you already have many people. I always hear good things about you and about Alyssum, always.
That's great.
So I
Thank
am
you.
so glad to be able to bring this to the Upper Valley and Facebook and all of you out there too. If you're watching this and you like what you see, send me an email or give me a call. My email is walklife@comcast.net, and my phone number is 802-295-0997. If you see me out shopping or out somewhere, just stop me and say, hey, I'm curious about this, and we'll talk, okay? So we'll see you next time on Walking Through Life. Thank you, Gloria, very much.
Thanks,
It's
Linda.
great having you here.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Walking through this life of mine, well, it's teaching me so